Alright, what up YouTube? It's June the 22nd. Library closed about 6 something. This is part 7 of this book report of the book Vindicated. So like I said, where I left off last time, yeah, she was in her apartment talking to the police officers and the agent from the Department of Children, Family, or the Family and Children Services, whatever, the DCFS. And police had left, but her conversation with the agent continued. After, she explained everything to him, she went ahead and gave him even more information as far as Aaron and what she felt about him, in regards to his relationship with the child, how he may not be suitable, etc., blah, blah, blah. Remember, the guy's name is Roberto Fernandez. So he had, and she was telling him about, how she wanted to pursue legal action against him and get it like a restraining order and this and that. So he told her that he'll help her in that aim. Making a long story short, so she took those little extra steps. She said it was always, she felt like it'd be hard to pin him down because he'll move around so much. But, he had some type of venue that he was at. And like I say, this guy Fernando, or Fernandez, he helped her and the authorities track him down, and they got Aaron arrested. They got arrested. He found out that she wanted to, get a restraining order against him. Now, at this point, he already had one against her from like a couple of years prior to this, about 3 years. So I think he first got his in 2008, I think. But anyway, or 09, one of them. But, he still had that restraining order against her. So I had to look it up because I wasn't really sure. I wanted to make sure this was factual. I'm like, okay, restraining orders, usually they last up until like a year based on what I read, or unless the judge makes it longer. But, as far as like in California, and I'm not sure if this is just a state thing, but this is what I read. As far as California, they got like 3 different types of, well, they got like an emergency one where the court or the judge could sign an emergency restraining order. And I forget how long it'll last, but then the one for domestic violence can last up until 3 years. And of course, you could get it renewed. So as far as like the situation between her and Aaron, it was a domestic violence dispute that took place many a times between both of them. So if Aaron had got this order of protection, more than likely it was on the grounds of that, which means it'd be one that'll last for at least 3 years, unless he wanted to get it renewed and continue it on. So it made sense. Now, so they ended up in court. Now she said from because this all took place in May and June, as far as the court cases. So this court situation lasted throughout May and in June. Now, as far as like in May, the beginning of May 5th is when she got her a lawyer. She hired a lawyer to help her out. And the lawyer was supposed to fight against this restraining order, not the restraining order, but like, this whole little DCFS case against her. Remember, because they had been called to her house and she felt like Aaron had something to do with it. So the lawyer was supposed to help her with that. And of course, it brought more bills to the table, even though she was already trying to maintain the budget. So hold on. Yeah. So so that went on for that whole month. And I think she said, when she showed up in court, she'll see like, his mom will show up. She'll see Aaron, she'll see his mom, Mona. And, she got a little sarcastic. She's like damn near the neighbor as well. But they'll basically have like a big ass motherfucking entourage of people. And she'll be by herself. Now, around this time, let's say June, right? She said she still was in contact with one of her acquaintances, a guy named Ant. Remember, that's the dude that she had met when she first got picked up by, when she first went to go see Bow Wow in Atlanta. That guy Ant, he was the driver, and the little 19-year-old but she maintained contacts with Aunt. Because you remember also he did, attend her birthday as well, that she threw out there in Atlanta a couple of years before this. So, because this whole episode is 2011 up until this point as far as June. So anyway, she said she was texting him back and forth, and he said that Lil Wayne was in the room. And, of course, being that she in this little, emotional rut, once again, and I don't want to say emotional rut, but basically, she was not in a happy situation. She kept falling back. The shit will fluctuate. She'll get decent, feel like she want to move on, something to happen, and she'll fall back into this space. So she was back into this space. So dude said, okay, well, Lil Wayne, he's sitting around us. If you want to talk to him, I'll give you his number. She was like, okay, go ahead. He gave her Lil Wayne number. Now, pause real quick at this point. I was kind of like puzzled at first because Aunt, when she'll mention Lil Wayne, up until this point, he was always associated with Bow Wow, not Lil Wayne. So I'm like, how the fuck is he sitting right next to Lil Wayne? But then I was like, oh, okay, that's right. Bow Wow, for instance, Bow Wow and Lil Wayne was best friends or real close buddies. But still, the fact that, she ended up fucking with Bow Wow, Lil Wayne felt some type of way about that, I would think that would kind of like drive them apart, even though she kind of dismissed it and really didn't get too detailed as far as what was going on between Lil Wayne and Bow Wow when Wayne found out about Bow Wow. Still, the whole fact that Aunt would be sitting right next to Wayne, I don't know, I just like, damn, that was kind of like a mixed match. But anyway, he ended up giving her the fucking number. She sent him some text messages. He responded. And she was very appreciated because she was like dropping tears in the midst of her sending him text messages. And she telling him, she want to see him. And he's saying the same thing back and forth to her as well. So this is like mid-June at the time. So she said like they made a promise to link up when he'll be in town. About 2 days after that, because I want to make sure I'm not getting past the court case. Actually, first the court case. She said, yeah, the court. As far as the court case, I had to recall for a second. Show my hands again. You know what I'm saying? I got nothing but goddamn it. Anyway, as far as the court case, by mid-June, the case that she was fighting against the Department of Family and Children's Services or whatever, she beat that case. And as far as like the case that not Lil Wayne, but Aaron was fighting, he also beat it. As far as like the little complaint, the complaint or the child custody case from Jonah's mom and their family. She was saying that case was coming to an end as well. But she still had the case as far as her trying to get this restraining order against Aaron ongoing. She still had that process in the midst of everything else that she was going on. So by the time she got to talking to Lil Wayne and they sending these text messages back and forth, a little bit after that, that's when he came into town in Atlanta, in California. So they all had it organized to where they meet up at a hotel. Some hotel called the Montage Hotel. So, she drove up there or whatever, and she got ready. And she was a little insecure because, she had lost a little weight. She didn't want to look dirty or nothing like that, old hype-ish. But, no, actually, it wasn't a hotel first. They did go to that hotel. It was a studio that he was at out there. So, anyway, like I said, she got dressed up and she was trying to make sure she was well prepped, even though she felt a little funny about her looks because she lost weight due to the situation that she was going through. But she ended up going to the studio, and when she walked in, she said, he was sitting with his back turned, listening to his album that he was working on at the time, which was supposed to have been the Carter 6. Remember, this is 2011. Now, I looked this up just to make sure the Carter 6 did come out in that year. It came out in August, so shortly after this, because this is still June. So, he turned around. He's like, oh, hey, how you doing? She walked up to him, and they embraced. And she was, describing, like, he had long dreads by this point. His locks was down to like down midway through his back, etc. So, you know, they all kicking in the studio that night, and they kicked it up into the morning. And, you know, of course, once again, she made a little observation. She was just like, you know, it felt good being in the studio amongst a lot of people. But at the same time, you know, once again, as far as like what she had going on, you know, another like revelation happened. She realized that she was not normal. But at the same time, everybody else that she was sitting around wasn't necessarily normal either. So, you know, she looking around, she kind of like, she referred to everybody as being other than sane, you know. And again, the normal factor as far as her, that goes back to that void that I pointed out earlier, as far as like her wanting a normal family and a quote unquote like a normal relationship instead of just like companionship with various people. But as far as like the way, you know, that traditional American packaged type of relationship, she wanted that. So shit, she looking around, she like, oh shit, ain't nobody in this motherfucker normal either. Hey, we all crazy, but we're enjoying the moment. You know, we're different. We ain't like everybody else. So that's what she was, you know, I want to say taking pride in, but it's something else. It's another way that I want to put it. But that's what she immersed herself in. All right, so they kicking it up into the morning. When the morning came, that's when they got up and they left. Now, she didn't get in the car with Lil Wayne. She was in her vehicle, her Mercedes. But she stayed behind him. She said he was in like a SUV. So she followed behind him, and then they went to this hotel, the Montage Hotel. All right? They go through the elevator. They fucking go upstairs. When they go upstairs, she go hop in the shower and everything. She come out. She put a little robe on, and then she laid next to him on the couch. You know, as they kind of like, you know, doing a little foreplay type shit. You know, eventually she took a dick. She stuck it in there. She started fucking them. Well, of course, she said she wanted to just unveil, like she was in her emotional state at the time. Okay, they got the fucking, then they fell asleep. Then, let me see, after that, because I stopped shortly after that. Yeah, after that, okay, she had to go back to court. Now, remember, the whole DCFS case is over with. As far as with Aaron, with the DCFS, it's not really an issue at this point. What she had to go back to court for was the order of protection. But, you know, because she was a little bit happier than what she was prior to this, again, just like her leaving her second home and all that, you know, she felt like it was really unnecessary. She really didn't need to get an order of protection. It would be just extra as baggage. So she decided to go ahead and forfeit the case. So when she went to court, you know, that's what happened or whatever. And then, of course, Aaron and his mom and everybody else was there. So when everything was said and done, you know, they kind of like embraced. And, you know, of course, you know, his mom talking stupid shit, running fucking game show. It's too bad we had to come to this and all this. And she said Aaron was like, you know, why don't we go out to movies or something this weekend? And she was like, oh, sure. And his mom suggested that, you know, she let her son Aim come over and kick it, you know, with the other grandchildren at her house. And she said she really didn't follow through with that. Now, that's basically kind of like where I stopped at so far. I think that's it. Like I say, it ain't nothing like as far as too much meat that I'd be like, ooh. Just like, for example, with the, you know, the bird, for example, like something like that really stands out. But basically, she was just like going through story as far as the subsequent shit. So I'm on page 138. So I got about 66 pages left. Then I'll be done with the book. Like I said, it's still pretty good. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. But again, June 22nd, a little bit after 6 something. Before I say I'll holler at y'all, I want to make sure I didn't leave out anything else that I feel like could be pertinent. Yeah, I think that's about it. All right, y'all take it easy. Tomorrow I hit y'all with part 8. And again, this is my shit. This ain't doing nobody motherfucking homework. All right.